right. Well, good day to everyone. I want to thank you all for coming. I know getting out this morning has not been easy. It's been a very difficult couple days. I appreciate folks who have made it here today, the folks that are working so diligently out there clearing the roads for all of our citizens, putting our mix of salt, our beet juice, and brine together, which our transportation folks tell us is very, very effective. We know the conditions across the state remain hazardous, and I want all West Virginians to do everything they can to stay safe. I wanted to provide a brief update on where we stand with respect to the storm and our statewide response. I think everyone knows West Virginia is dealing with a very dangerous cocktail of snow, of sleet, and ice, and then a lot of cold temperatures that will be lasting a number of days. When I woke up this morning and saw the weather report, I know a lot of the temperatures that are forecast over the next 5 days in many parts of the state are expected to be at 0 at 6 a.m. up to 6 or 7. It's going to be really, really cold. And whenever you have precipitation and very cold weather, that creates one of the most dangerous conditions of all, which is a lot of ice. And so we've been focusing a great deal on that. And I want to, first of all, thank everyone within our emergency management, within our Department of Highways, and all the different agencies across West Virginia who are doing their best right now to get out and make life a little bit easier for people. Since Saturday, we've seen as little as a couple inches of snow fall in different parts of the state. And as I was looking through, I saw one area up in the eastern panhandle with about 15 inches or so. Most of that system has passed, but we are still seeing some flurries here and there. But where the snowfall totals were modest, that's where we've been worried about freezing. We know that melting during the daylight hours does occur, but when it gets to evening, those sharper, colder temperatures, that creates a real problem. And we know that there's widespread black ice there on bridges, on overpasses, and we know sometimes the ice is formed on trees, causing branches to fall, and on power lines. Wind chills have dropped below 0 in many parts of the state in the past, and we know that that creates for dangerous conditions. So because of all that, my message to folks becomes very clear. Please stay at home. Please stay off the road. You only go out if you have to. I know that there are a lot of people that may look and see that the snow has really come to an end and they may want to get out, but the road conditions are still slippery. And when you're out on the roads, it's more difficult for our highways team to get out and do their work. I know that a lot of people are working very hard. They're very professional. I'd like to cite a couple statistics for you. Since the storm began, the highway crews across the state, they've logged nearly 44,000 equipment hours and more than 68,000 manpower hours. They've applied almost 41,000 tons of salt in abrasive mix and 390,000 gallons of this brine and beet juice mixture, which is really designed to be applied when the weather conditions go down a lot lower. And our transportation guys, I said it before, but I was fascinated to read about that. I don't know how many states across the country are using beet juice and brine, but I think it's a pretty good thing that we're ahead of the curve. So we know there are a lot of people that are working hard, not just the people you see outside, but a lot of folks behind the scenes, our emergency management crews, the folks in the counties, everyone's standing up to make sure that the assistance is being provided to the people that need it. We know that the state operations emergency management, that's activated. They're watching everyone very, very closely. We know that law enforcement's also monitoring calls for help. I've had reports that there's been a decrease in call volume as people stay off the roads, but we also know that response times sometimes get affected when you're talking about these difficult conditions. It's our understanding understanding that the healthcare and medical systems and the facilities out there remain stable. Hospitals are open, and we've not had any reports about major problems in that area. We are continuing to look and investigate critical infrastructure that may get frozen, and obviously there are issues that keep arising that we're dealing with. Most importantly, we're watching the weather like you are, trying to analyze how cold it's going to be in the upcoming days. We want to let people know that if you have a question or if you need to get to a warming station, you can get and call 211, and you'll be provided with information which will be helpful to you. Same goes true if you need water or food or other items. I want to thank everyone for really staying off the roads and for following the preparation that we outlined a number of days ago. I think it makes a big difference. We've been in close contact with FEMA and folks at the national level in an effort to try to make sure that everyone is properly coordinated. I want to thank the Trump administration for the very swift emergency declaration that we were able to get, and we continue to work and wait and evaluate to protect our people. So those are the latest. I'd be happy to take any questions from folks out there.
How does that upfront disaster declaration work? Usually you have to document all these things.
Well, you know, it allows quick mobility of some of the infrastructure that they may have. So I'm told we have about 1,400 pieces of equipment that are out there right now. But let's say we needed more equipment or we needed other generators and they had access to it right away. That would allow us to get that access. That's different than the normal process where you would apply and you have to document the injury or the death or the financial harm. This is meant as a quick coordination opportunity. And so we thought, not knowing the scope of the weather that was coming, it was good to coordinate. We know that a lot of states in this region did that as well. And so it just meant as a preventative effort.
Have you had to request anything?
No, we haven't yet, but we've been communicating with them. I know I spoke with Secretary Noem several days ago. I spoke to folks at FEMA last night, and our team's been coordinating. Our emergency management team has been in very close contact with them over the last couple days.
Obviously, we're focused on what's on the ground right now, but have we started looking ahead maybe another week or two until we get to a possibility where we have to shift gears into more of a flood mitigation type of situation, or are we still primarily focused on?
No, it's a good question because right now we looked, I asked that question. There were reports that came in of a couple areas of flooding, but not significant right now. So obviously the first piece of this is that we're expected, at least for the next 5 days, to have pretty brutal cold conditions. So we're not going to be seeing much flooding in those circumstances. But as the weather starts to change, then absolutely, we're of course working and talking about these topics with our emergency management team, and we've obviously looped a leadership of the Guard in place should they be needed, that they're ready to go on a moment's notice. But we're watching the weather forecast very closely. As of right now, it's the immediate future is really cold weather, but that is something that we're very concerned about, because if everything melts quickly, that's where another dangerous condition can arise. Hey, how are you? Good morning. Good to see you guys made it in today.
Yeah, actually that was part of my question, but would you at this time recommend to employers whose employees can work from home to direct them to do so?
I'm sorry, could you say it again?
Employers who are in an industry where their employees can work from
Sure.
home without it interfering with their work, would you recommend that they tell their employees to do so?
Yeah, I mean, to the extent, you have to make sure that you're being safe, first and foremost. So what we did, even with state government today, that if people could make their way in safe, we said, you know, we'd love you to come in, but if you can work from home to get things done, we were comfortable with that. You don't want to put people in harm's way, and so we would encourage all folks to do that. I'm very hopeful as we go through today, we continue to get a lot of the muck off the roads, But it's going to continue in the next couple days with respect to the salt and the work that we have to do because of the freezing temperatures. So we're going to continue to update people, and we'd suggest that folks follow the National Weather Service and their local media to learn updated information. You guys have meteorologists on board, but we're watching closely with all the information. We're consulting to get the latest so we can provide it to the public.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions that may come up? Well, we're going to be in very close contact with you in the next number of hours or days as needed if issues arise. And we just, once again, urge everyone to be safe out there. If you have questions, if you want to know what's going on in your local area, if you need help with the warming station, let us know. I did want to report one other item, actually, which is important. The power outages. That's actually critical to do. So we were monitoring very closely yesterday as the power outages started to rise, and then it went up to, I was quoted, over 40,000 at one point. Through the night, people worked really, really hard. And before coming in for this briefing, I was told that the power outages were down to about 19,000 or so. That's really a great credit to the linemen and the people out there working, a lot of them working through the night. So I want to thank them for all the good work they did. But that was positive. We have to continue going, and we have to keep trying to get more and more power restored. And we're following that very, very closely. So that's critical. Let's keep monitoring that, and we're going to report more information as it arises. So thank you, and we'll check in with you soon.